Hey there guys, it's the Marma Saurus here, and today I'm showing you a little loot run that I always run on Dayz. The reason that I'm showing this is because there's a lot of people who are new to the game who don't know where to go to get good loot, so I really hope this helps you out. Okay, so in the description to this video I'm going to leave a link to the Dayz database. What the database is it has a lot of information about the game, the mod and the map itself. It will show you different places where loot can spawn, where helicopters can spawn when they're implemented into the game. It will show you good places to get food and water, even industrial and farm areas where you can find stuff to repair vehicles. So without further ado, let's move on to the loot run. So the loot run starts in Balota. To the north end of the airstrip you'll find two military tents which often have things like weapon accessories, and at the south of the airstrip there are medical tents. Okay, so now the next place really you need to go is into Balota itself. But keep a sharp eye open because you can get some players up towards the north of Balota. Balota is a small town with a few houses that can offer a bit of food and a bit of water. Also you can find industrial and farming equipment there. Once you've looted pretty much all of Balota, it's time to move on to Kamarovo, just to the west of Balota. So we don't really want to stay in Kamarovo for too long because it doesn't really have a lot to offer, and it's quite a small place. So we're going to move down to Kamenka. I strongly advise moving through this tree line as it does give you a lot of good coverage as you move down there. Also try to avoid as many open areas as possible as it is the easiest place to get shot. Okay, so this is the town of Kamenka. The reason I've switched it over to a gridded map is to show you the different areas and what's in the actual town. So as you can see, the blue dots represent residential areas, green is farming, and yellow is residential. This small town can give you some loot such as water, food, and clothing. Also, when vehicles are implemented into the game, there's a filling station for petrol and gas. I would describe this town as a sort of a stop-off town, so you're just literally going to look for a little bit of loot, and then you're going to move on through the rest of this loot run. So not a lot of people know this, but there's a secret military base between Kamenka and Pavlovo. So again, I would run through this tree line that I'm showing you. It's definitely the easiest way to get there, and it's the safest way to get there. The military base has two barracks and a couple of houses to go and have a look at. Even though it is a military base, it's still rare to find an M4 or a Mosin, which are the two guns which are in Dayz standalone at the moment. Once you've finished looting the military base, have a scout around of Pavlovo to make sure that there's no players in there at the moment. Once you get into Pavlovo, scout around for loot. You can find some supermarkets and some general apartment stores there, as well as some normal houses, which will have things such as clothing and food in them. Also, don't forget to stock up on water as we head out of Pavlovo. From Pavlovo, you're going to run to Zelenogorsk. Although there aren't a lot of bandits in the area, Zelenogorsk is a very easy place to get shot if there's anyone around. So for this reason I'm going to switch to the geo map to give you a good view of the heights around the area and places to be wary of. So the reason I've chosen to come in to Zelenogorsk from the left hand side is because coming in from the right hand side there is a lot of hills in the way, a lot of places for you to get shot really easily and not a lot of tree coverage. Places to be wary of snipers are here on the right hand hillside and here on the bottom right hand hillside as well. People won't be sniping on this bottom right hand hillside, but they will be able to come into Zelenogorsk and come and attack you. The role of being a bandit really has changed since the olden days, because when Dayz first came out they used to have honour and just held people up, but now they just kill on sight for no reason. Once you've finished raiding Zelenogorsk and all players have been dealt with, head up to Vybor, just north of Zelenogorsk. There are a few towns that stand in your way of getting to Vybor from Zelenogorsk. You can go and check these towns out, they're moderately safe, but I just recommend heading down the left hand side through the tree line up to Vybor. It is quite a trek to get to Vybor from Zelenogorsk. If you really need to, then stop off at Maishniko and definitely head down that left hand side in the tree line. As you can see, Vybor really is the pinnacle of our journey. There is medium yield farming equipment and high yield civilian equipment in this area. There will also be two vehicles there when implemented into the game, and just north of Vybor is the northwest airfield. This is where you can choose to end your journey and head down south and help players or kill players depending on whether you're a baddie or a goodie. The northwest airfield has high grade to medium grade equipment for military standing, and also two helicopters can spawn there. If you choose to end your journey here, well done, you've made it through my video. If you want to know how to attack the airfield, I'll show you that now if you want to stick around and keep watching. Before I go into attacking the airfield, first of all I want to show you this. This is called a heat map. This is where most of the activity that takes place in Dayz is registered. Red means it's very hot and a lot of people go there. Yellow not so much, green not so much, and then just plain is where people don't normally go. I can almost guarantee that there'll be other players here, so you really need to watch your back if you're new to the game, and this is where you're going to need to pay the most attention if you've been watching this video. Firstly, because this heat spike comes down to north of Vybor, what I'd recommend is you definitely want to go around the back of the airfield to attack it. What I would recommend doing is going to the north of the airfield, as this is where you're going to get a good view to scout out the area. Although it is hard to pinpoint where each player will be whenever you're in a new game because it varies the whole time, I would say that they're definitely going to be, if there are any players on the airfield, they're going to be in these hangars down the bottom of the airfield, or they could be up in these stations towards the middle of the airfield. The only real other part of advice that I can give you is that patience is a virtue. The person who stays in the best cover for the longest will win any firefight. Unfortunately, this is the way that Dayz plays, but if you want to win a firefight, you're going to have to do it. So from here on out, it's just down to you, what you want to do. And I don't know, if you guys like this, please do like it and comment on it, because it really does help me know what you guys want to see. So that was my loot run. I'll also do another one coming from north to south, and also from the middle of the map. Unfortunately, Connor is away for a couple of days. That's why I decided to do this sort of survival route. So if you guys did enjoy it, again, comment, rate, subscribe. Connor will be back soon, so we will be making some more funny videos if that's what you guys want to see. I'm also trying to figure out a channel name at the moment, so if you guys have any suggestions, because you may have noticed I've been changing it a lot, please leave some notes in the comments for me to look at after. So I'm going to leave you guys with a list of Dayz YouTubers. I definitely recommend, above all of them, watching Rhino Crunch and Frankie on PC in 1080p. Frankie on PC is the best Dayz player I've ever seen. He plays sometimes with a guy called Drac Frags, if you guys know him. He is extremely amazing, so I definitely recommend watching him. And as always guys, see you in the next episode.